All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm not going to really wait for people to come in. People kind of come in and out, whatever. Doesn't matter. You'll see it at some point. I was going to do a reading this morning on something I saw last night that I did make a post about. And I am still going to do that reading, okay, on that. But first, I like to try to do it separately. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to start the video, the live here about something in particular, knowing that I'm going to talk about that, and they're two totally separate things. And the person might miss it because sometimes people don't want to sit through, hour-long live videos and whatnot, even on the replay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I will, depend on who it is. Okay, and if I think it's interesting, I will. But everybody's different. Okay. Um, I was watching, like I said, I watch my videos, most of them. I was watching my video that I did last night, calling that crackhead bitch out who wants to gang stalk people and say that they're gang stalking her and take screenshots of them. A lot of readers. I don't know if she does it to anybody else. She does it to a lot of readers. There's one in particular that she does it to a lot. I'm not going to say her name. I'm not getting involved in that, but I am going to defend it myself. You can't defend people on this motherfucker, okay? Because it turned into something else. But anyway, so she gang stalks readers, and she puts it on her Twitter and has this whole thing about gang stalking and whatnot. But it's obvious this girl has some a drug issue. So you can watch that video if you want to. Okay, um, but she was talking about. I think when she posted me, she made some ageist remarks. You know, and the bitch didn't even know how old I am. But I mean, I do often express my age, okay, because whatever, it's age. Okay. When I say I don't want to say it's a number like it doesn't mean anything because it does. People want to try to reduce shit, especially when they want to try to get their silly ass point across. Like I had this woman one time at a job. Um, the way my job was, I worked for an agency. But she seemed to think that I worked for her company, and it's like I don't work for your company. I work for an agency. I'm not under the same guidelines as you are, bitch. But anyway, you have people try to run you, and it's all. I hate to say this, but I'm going to just say it. It's always black women. It's always black women that. I'm not saying that white people don't have their way, and but people of other races and colors and all of that kind of thing do not have their toxic ways. They do, but it's always some black woman trying. And you hear people say some black bitch trying to control another black one, but you're not gonna control my motherfucking ass, bitch. Especially when I know that you're dumb and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But anyway, she thought she was gonna run. She was one of them kind that every time you move, wavy, the boss man. She's still living on the fucking plantation. I'm not. One of them. If I any little step I make, where you go? Where you been? Days watching. I don't give a fuck about what Days doing. Days got a schedule to follow. You know what I'm saying? And I know how to communicate. I know how to communicate with whoever I have to report to. I know how to communicate with the agency that I was working for. I know how to communicate. Some people still walking around with shackles on their feet. Okay, bridling themselves and shit. You understand what I'm saying, bitch? Get the fuck out of my face. So she had a problem with that. So she tried it one day. It was a Friday, and I told her, I said, she kept asking me that shit. I said, don't ask me that shit no more. Stop. Don't ask me that anymore. I didn't say shit. I know how to be professional on the job, but don't ask me that anymore. And she got upset. Come in Monday. Good morning. What was you saying on Friday? This is what the fuck I was saying on Friday. Don't say that shit to me no motherfucking more. That's what the fuck I was saying. So it became this drama. And, she's trying to tell. And I said, I think at the time I was 49 or 50. I said, man, I'm 50 years old. Age don't got nothing to do with it. Excuse me. It absolutely does. I've been working since I was 14. All the way up until this point, 50. I know how to work a fucking job. And this wasn't no young spring chicken of a woman. You ain't gonna gaslight me and play me with that game that you motherfuckers like to play. Age ain't got nothing to do with it. Fuck yes it does. Anybody else out there, you know your age and you put in some time and whatever based off of some years. Don't let nobody. It may not have nothing to do. It may not mean nothing. Or have nothing to do with anybody who's my age and they did shit but sit on their ass at home for 50 years. But we're talking about work. And bitch, I've been working since I was 14. And now I'm fit. Bitch, I know how to work a fucking. Despite Breandra Bellamy over there lying, talking about I was unemployed or broke bitch. No, bitch, you're unemployed or broke bitch. Who told you that? The good Dr. T, when y'all went to her for divination on me. I saw a husband up here at the what's that motherfucker up the goddamn street, not far from me, one of them little grocery stores, Trader fucking Joe's. He looked at me damn near like his eyes was gonna pop out his head and roll all the way to his car. I said, I'm not dumb. I knew y'all was going to her and other people. She probably was going out of town. It probably had something to do with that vision I had too, which I'm gonna share. Okay. But anyway, so I just find it interesting how, well, people on here want to talk about people so negatively. People that you don't know from fucking Adam. You just met, like I was saying last night, the one chick talking about, she do practice witchcraft. Talking about me. No, bitch, I don't practice witchcraft. Or craft. Never have. Now, I don't give a fuck about your lying ass pendulum that you made lie. Fuck out of here. But anyway, I don't understand how people can build these narratives and assumptions about people that they don't even know. I mean, they really don't know on social media. You go check out their page. You go check them out all over all over every app you can find them on. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of that dumb shit. You go check them out. See what you think you can pick up through pictures and from a 2-minute video about their fuck ass. Throw your goddamn cheap ass cards that you probably really don't know what the fuck you're doing with those. Your fucking pendulum. Practice your little whatever black magic shit you practice and think, okay, I call on whatever demon and spirit, or go to some goddamn practitioner who you think they know that person and they don't. And see, sometimes people will do things because they have their own for you against someone because they have their own personal problems with that person. Like this one person here that I mentioned years ago invited me somewhere with her husband. I wanted to tell her, I don't do that. But see, that's not how she talked about it to me. Invited me, we went to the lake, walked around the whole motherfucking little man-made lake here in the area. Walked and talked. Asked me, would you like to go off and see? Sure. No, I'm not laying down with you and your husband. I'm not going to do that. I don't have an issue with y'all if that's what y'all do. You go find somebody else to do that with, which she did. See, people be wanting to, sometimes it's that, and then sometimes they want to control you and shit. I'm not laying down with either one of you. I don't find either one of you attractive for me to do that. I don't want to do that anyway. I'm not interested. But if I was, I'm not attracted to either one of you all to do that. I don't know. Ain't nobody offered me no money. I ain't even let the conversation get to that point. I let him do what he wants. I let him have. That's wonderful. I don't give a fuck about what you got going on with your husband. That's y'all. I'm not interested. But there's a whole lot of people around this motherfucker. The little temple we just came from. That one over there. That one over there. They will be more than happy to be a part of your bullshit. Okay, I shouldn't call it bullshit. Because if that's their way of life, that's their way of life. And if they handle themselves well and respect one another, then I respect it too. That's your thing. I'm not interested. But see, people will be mad at you. People will have resentment towards you. They don't want really respect you. They want you to respect them and honor them and their way of life and their way of being. And want to pull you into it. And then when you let them know that I'm not really, however you do, I'm not interested in that. I think you're a wonderful person. That's all I got for you. But I'm not interested. They'll be mad at you for life. I had one bitch mad because no, bitch, I'm not laying down with you. I'm not interested. And ain't nobody gonna tell me what my sexuality is. Thank you, Brianna Joe Bellamy. The only thing you need to do is worry about your motherfucking Maria Gaviria, gonorrhea, or whatever the fuck your name is that you want to lie about. This is again the toddler's mind. If a person is, I say this because this woman sent me an email, and how do I know it was her? Because it's the same. She does the weird shit, and it went to my business email. Now I get a lot of them spam shits in my personal email, but I got this. It was a bit my bit, and I said, "Hey, this is Bree. This is Brianna Bellamy, Maria Escobar, metaphysical life master, whatever the fuck she's calling herself today." And also because somebody else that she attacked on this platform got the same exact email. That's how she was doing back in the day. She sent me the weird ass text, and somebody else on the platform who said I practice witchcraft, whose number she had, she was getting the same exact text. It's her. Because she was mad at her. But it was this long email, some weird ass email, claiming this person was some kind of man who works for some kind of government agency or something like that, which is her. Let's pay attention. And that he had all my shit, hacked and tapped, or whatever. And he saw me looking at a porn, women on women, and masturbating, and he was going to send it out to everybody in my list unless I gave him some money in Bitcoin. I said, this is Brianna Joe Bellamy. What's more disgusting? First of all, let's just one point at a time. What is more disgusting and dishonorable? Somebody in the privacy of their own home looking at a porn, whatever the sexual aspect of the porn is, and pleasuring themselves, or a person who hacks into people's stuff to watch them do it. You're an idiot, bitch. You're dumb. People who talk like that, they're stuck. And there's a lot of people in this reality, in this 3D, in this culture that's fucked up when it comes to sexuality. Let me see if it's in here. That's bad. Pornography is a multi-billion-dollar industry, which means that a lot of people who watch that shit. It can be a stress reliever for people, because there are a lot of people who sex is, and I know, there's a woman on here I was watching that she couldn't even say the word SEX, sex, because YouTube gonna get rid of my channel. That's not a bad word. I mean, that is an actual, I mean, what are you talking about? I'm like, that's against the guidelines to say, she was saying sex appeal. She wasn't talking about anything perverted or anything like that. Which, why do people think that sex is perverted? I don't understand. Let's look at the definition. Sex, chiefly with reference to people. Sexual activity, including specifically sexual intercourse. That's bad? How do people get here? Oh, besides the motherfuckers they're putting in the lab and shit. They've been doing that shit. Because some of these motherfuckers, I look at, I'm like, this is engineered. This motherfucker is engineered. It also means determine the sex of. Present something in a more interesting or lively way. I never heard of that word used that way, but here's an example. The department set up a task force to help sex up the concept of conserving water. Never heard it used that way before, okay? But anyway. Either of the two main categories, male and female, into which humans and most other living things are divided on the basis of their reproductive functions. What are you talking about? See, people who send emails like that, Something is absolutely wrong with you. And anybody who would look at that, oh me, oh my, they ain't so good. What else? Please. Now let's look at something. Um, Again, pornography is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Maybe, I mean, God knows, maybe multi-trillion-dollar industry. There are people in this world, the human touch. We are sexual beings as human beings, meaning it is part of our physical and mental and emotional makeup to want to touch and be touched. Now, there are some people, I saw a documentary on it, who absolutely have no interest whatsoever in sex. They've had it, they don't like it. No, they're not gay, they're not bisexual, they're not, and they just, it's just, they have no interest in it at all. I think it's a very small population of people. And it wasn't just, I don't, well, I'm pretty sure it was conducted here in the States, the study, the documentary I saw. But nevertheless, it was beyond, I mean, it was just like, they just no interest. They didn't, some of them just simply didn't even like it. But some of them just, it wasn't matter of not liking it, just like, had no interest in it. They didn't want to do it. They had done it before, whatever, no thank you, that's enough of that. Moving on. But that does not mean that they don't crave touch, that they don't want to be touched. Now there are some people in the world who they don't want to be touched. They don't want no hugs, they don't want none of that shit. Okay, I'm not sure of the. I'd have to look up what they're categorized, what category they would put those people under, to see like the percentage. But I would venture to say it's probably a small percentage of people. Okay, but it is normal for human beings to want, and it is also normal for human beings to want to what? Procreate. Why? Because the one thing that human beings do, beings, animals, okay, of the animal kingdom as well, is to perpetuate life. And how do we perpetuate life? We procreate and we continue on. This is how we keep our legacies going. This is how we keep our tribes going, our families going, humanity going. You fucking dummy. That is like built in. It is programmed in us. Okay, back to program. It's part of our programming. We do as the gods. Let us make man in our own image. Ye are gods. We continue to make humanity in our image, in the image and likeness thereof. And the way in which it is done, it is through sexual intercourse between what we call a man or a male and a female. Now, I ain't gonna even get into the parthenogenesis. That's a whole nother thing that I mentioned it before. But let's just stick with the basics, because we have people who think that they're so cute and they're so smart and they're so cheeky and they're so slick and they're so sly, and they're going to catch you and this, that, and the other to drag you down and bring you down and destroy you so that they can have your life, this, that, and the other, and they still somewhere can't even handle Similac. All they can do is dumb shit like that and go to practitioners to try to kill you and destroy you. There are people in this world, many, who even if they do have a companion, okay, and this is nothing against LGBTQ community. Let's just deal with the basics for the airhead over there who wants to try to shame other people. There are people out here who have companions and still are lonely, still don't get touched, still don't have sexual interaction. That sexual interaction is very much, once again, a part of the need of being human. It's built in us. Some people don't have it. Again, some people, they be laying right next to the motherfucker and they won't touch them. They will not touch each other. So when a need arises, for many, not just a couple here, a couple there, people somewhere, the seedy folk, no. For many, they might watch a porno. Porno's been around since, my God, that movie, I shared this movie with you guys before. You ought to watch it. What was that movie? Was it X? The girl who wait a minute, let me see. The movie was good as hell. No, okay, not X. X was the first one that came out. Pearl. Pearl. And Pearl was set in, I'm trying to see what year. I don't see. 1918. The movie was set in 1918. And she was at the Pearl, the young girl Pearl. She wanted to be a movie star. She was crazy as hell, but she was at this the movie theater, and the guy who did the handle the movies in the back, he was showing her some porns, and he was like, "This is like something new that's come on the American scene." And he was like, "I'm gonna get involved in this. I'm going out to California because I know I'm gonna make a lot of money." It was a silent film. Okay, it was a porn. You fucking twat. Pornos have been around forever. If they haven't been in the form of a film, you can look at ancient pictures of Greece, Rome, I'm sure. And, I mean, not just India. I'm sure in Africa even. Okay. Some parts of Africa, I can tell you where, maybe Egypt even, okay, on the walls, the pictures on the walls of the caves and various stone structures where they show people interacting with one another sexually, and they be pretty graphic. So we're talking about ancient. That's where that was their books. Ancient shit. And even in some of those, for people who do, I'm gonna touch on this just a little bit. For people who do think, oh, back then didn't you wasn't gay and all that kind of stuff, they do find, okay, that we already know, definitely in Greece and Rome shit. Okay, well, probably more so Greece, but was it more so Greece? Okay, but nevertheless, uh, um, what am I trying to say? Carvings and whatnot, pictures on these, on the walls and the monumental structures and the caves and whatnot of people of the same, even on their religious or spiritual structures, temples and whatnot, people of the same sex interacting with one another sexually. So for your dumb ass who wants to send that shit, and you were licking that same sexual, bitch, how the fuck would you know, bitch? Oh, you admitted you hacked into my shit. But this is something that you send in everybody who you got a problem with. So what's worse? Actually doing that, watching it, and pleasuring oneself? Or hacking somebody's shit? Or just lying? Sending lying ass emails to people you got problems with. That you're doing it. That you're hacking people's shit. And why I'm watching. That sounds like some perverted shit. Why are you watching? These things are normal for people to look at things of a sexual nature. If it wasn't normal, because it's not just quote unquote what you term or what the church terms or some Puritan shit terms, perverts looking at pornos. All pornos are not of a quote unquote, I said now, don't nobody had no issues with me, a perverted nature. They're not. You know, you've watched them. Many people, probably the vast majority of people, have at some point, even if it's just looked at one or parts of one. Hell, even if you didn't go to the store and get one or look up the XXX online on your goddamn phone or whatever, you see them all the time. Soft porn. When we were, I'm sure many of you watch. I can't say many, but I'm sure people watched that. What was that Tyler Perry movie? It wasn't a movie. It was a TV show. Well, you know. Black and Beauty or some shit like that. And I think the second season came out in May. I didn't see it. I watched the first season. Hell, all that shit that was going on behind that motherfucking, what was that thing? Strip club. The people back there going to town. That was porn. We were watching it right there on his movie. I'm not putting him down or whatever. That's what it was. People go to strip clubs. Men go to women strip. I mean, will men go to strip clubs? Women go to strip clubs. Okay, and it offers people quite a bit of excitement, and it fulfills that. As I'm hearing animalistic, but I don't want to say that. Okay, but that part of them. Okay, that is natural. Sexual interaction is normal. It is natural, and a lot of people do not have it and are not able to have it, and they don't want to go to a person on the street or just any old body. They want to protect themselves, so there's something else that is offered, that the good Lord, okay, if that's what you want to call it, or the Elohim blessed us with, to take care of oneself when they need to. It's called self-pleasure, which you threaten somebody with to make them quote unquote feel shame, or masturbation. Let's look at something real quick. See, some people just dumb, and they try to make you feel shame because of their shame. Because they have shame around their sexuality. And a lot of people, especially in this culture, have shame around their sexuality. There's many ways to heal it. Masturbation, when practiced in a safe and consensual manner, can provide several potential benefits, including stress reduction. This is what sex does as well. It offers stress reduction. This is education. Masturbation releases endorphins, which have pain relieving and mood boosting effects. That's another part that is beneficial, a benefit of sexual intercourse. But for those people who don't have it, or they're alone, or the person they're with, they're just not able to, or maybe the person that they're with, their spouse or their lover or whatever, is sickly and they can't perform, and the person doesn't want to cheat on them. There are many reasons why people play with themselves, or self-pleasure. As a matter of fact, if you pay fucking attention, usually children do it. And I'm not talking about in the way that an adult does. They're discovering it is a physical thing. They're discovering their physical body. I remember I had a friend, she told me how she discovered when she was a certain age. She was little. She would hold on to the door, to each side, the, what do you call those things? The doorknobs. And she would swing the door back, and she would, holding on to the door. She wasn't on her feet. I can't describe it, okay? And she was able to swing the door back and forth, which offered her she said it felt good. You dumb bitch. Oh, that's right, you abandon your children. You don't know what the fuck they think or feel. You don't pay attention. Because your spirituality is more important. You going around trying to terrorize people and try to make them feel shame off of stuff you feel shame. It improves sleep. Orgasm releases oxytocin, a hormone that promotes relaxation and sleep. That's something that you find when you have sex. But if you cannot have it with someone else, you have it with yourself. For whatever reason, that person cannot have it with themselves. Check this out. Reduced menstrual cramps. What? Masturbation can increase blood flow to the pelvic area, which may help alleviate menstrual cramps. Enhance libido. Masturbation can stimulate the pleasure centers in the brain, leading to increased sexual desire. Reduced risk of prostate cancer. Studies suggest that regular ejaculation may reduce the risk of prostate cancer in men. Mental health benefits. Improved mood. Masturbation releases dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters that contribute to feelings of happiness and well-being. Increased self-esteem. Masturbation can provide a sense of pleasure and control, which can boost self-confidence. Reduce anxiety. Masturbation can help release tension and reduce anxiety level. Other benefits. Relieves pain. Masturbation can release endorphins, which have pain-relieving effects. Improves blood circulation. Orgasm increases blood flow throughout the body, which can benefit overall health. Promotes fertility. Masturbation can help maintain healthy sperm production in men. It's important to note that these benefits are based on general research and may vary depending on individual factors. Okay, you can consult, which sound like you need to, with your ashamed of yourself ass, and think you're gonna push your shame off on me and anybody else. Bitch, ain't no way in hell. I don't give a fuck who you pretend or who that fuck that was. More than likely it was you, because you sent to somebody else who you had attacked, and she posted the shit. I said I got the same exact email. That's that bitch, Brianna Jewel Bellamy, Maria Gonorrhea Gaviria Escobar. Wake the fuck up. See, people like you live in shame. That's what I'm saying. Toddlerville. Toddlerville. And that's exactly where they want you to stay. So that you don't, what's that book I got? Okay. Cultivating Female Sexual Energy. Healing Love Through the Tao. I talked about the Tao. That from which all things originate. This is a good book. I got a long way to go in the book. And then there's one for men. No, you live in shame, and you think you're going to bring some shame to me and anybody else. There are other cultures of people who do some of the dances are to help cultivate female sexual energy. But this culture, everything sexual, definitely in Black America, is the United States of America. Let me put it that way. Is a shame, so much guilt and shame. And that Christian shit. So much and being beat down by the master, and you still letting this motherfucking ass beat you down. And attacking other people that look like you, and then denying who you are. And want to bother people with your bullshit. Now, me and a friend who has some fucking sense, we're talking one time. This was years ago. Years. We were talking about how that every person is conceived with the XX chromosome. Female. Until something happens to that X, one of them, and it's the leg is like broken off. It becomes XY, male. So we had some good jokes about that. I said, sound like devolved women. Like evolution just goes backwards with them motherfuckers. We just had a good laugh, okay. And she was saying how, she said, well, if that's the case, then for you, bitch. She said, if that's the case, then everybody's probably like gay. I said, right, stands to reason, right? Because they just sound like devolved females. Like just something happened in the, what do you call it? The, in utero. Everybody was coming out as was going to be female, but something. And this is science. Don't nobody come over here with your dumb shit because you don't know no fucking better. It's science. Look it up. They got videos on here. For a dummy like you, bitch. Read! So you can have some understanding of something. Quit making an ass of yourself. Harassing people with your bullshit. Now I don't have to tell nobody about my sexuality. What I am and what I ain't. But for an idiot like you, who you think you're going to tell me what I look at, what I'm not, and what I am, and my sexuality, and bitch, you don't know me from a can of paint. Sounds like that's what you want me to be. So that you can come over here and think you got a chance with me. No. So, in 2025, shame women who are bisexual or who do or who are attracted sexually and emotionally, not just sexually, but emotionally as well to other women. You shame a whole community of people, but you're going to do it behind your hidden shit and your fake ass emails. You shame that's how you really feel. You shame a whole group of people. Being gay, being lesbian, being bisexual, various things. Shit, that ain't nothing new, bitch. You think that just came around in your fucking lifetime, bitch? Like I said, you can find drawings all over the fucking earth in caves and what they call the walls of Egypt or the walls of those communities where that was their books of all kinds, and on their temples even, their places of worship of two people being sexually interacting. And it's not always just a man and a male and a female, a man and a woman. There's nothing new under the sun, bitch. But you live in you got the mind the size of a pig, and people like you. And you think you're going to, because you have shame around your sexuality and who you are as a person, you think you're going to put that shit off on me. Bitch, I wouldn't give a fuck what you hacked into my shit. You admit that you hacked into my, that all it takes is to find out who sent the motherfucker. But we know you sent it because you sent the same thing to the other sister you've been attacking over the years. And then send me that, and then try to bribe me at the same time. I wouldn't give a fuck, bitch. You're hacking into my shit, watching me. We know you watch with all the gnats and flies and fleas and all of that shit you send me all the fucking time. You're an idiot. What is it? Let's see. There are, I'm trying to figure out exactly which one it is. I'm looking at my book. This is not one I went over often, but there are, and I believe it's Japan. Where the temples of worship, places of worship, they have a lot of like little statues of penises and all of that kind of stuff. Some American, like your fuck ass, dumbass, would look at it like, ooh, that leg. Without even asking why. What does that mean? No. Why do you all have that? And people who will be more than happy to tell you because they know that you don't know, you're not from there, you're not a part of their faith. They're not dumb like your fucking ass. You're an idiot. For everyone else, I'm not calling you all idiots, calling this bitch an idiot. Sending me shit like that, her dumb fucking ass. Her full of shame and guilt and trauma. You think you're going to send that shit this way? I was watching it. And you got to send this much in Bitcoin. I'm going to send it to everybody on your... we recorded you. We're going to send it to everybody on your list, on your email list. Well, I hope they enjoy it. But what you would be sending is your motherfucking ass doing it, because you ain't hacked shit and watched me do a motherfucking thing, bitch. And if you did, you're the perv. You're the one with some bisexual tendencies to sit there and say, well, let me see what she's doing at night. Just admit it and love yourself. Anybody, just be you. I'm just a dummy. That ain't what I want to come on here to talk about. Fuck time is it? Let me put this stuff away, and then I can come back. That is not what I came on here to talk about. Look how spirit just be sending you down the path of, what needs to be said for whatever reason. If I find I don't have time to, I mean, I do have time, but I don't remember where it is in my book here, and I can't remember. Well, I believe it was in Japan, but I don't see it in here because we talked about it when I used to teach class. We talked about it briefly, and about how they were very much more open in their culture, in terms of sexuality. Well, given the fact that I was, raised in this one and raised in a church where they stifled your fucking ass. Some of it was a little too strong for me. I ain't gonna lie. When I first saw it, like, whoa, you understand what I'm saying? But I had sense enough to recognize and realize this is a whole different culture. Keep reading. Why are they very open sexually in their culture? And then besides that, more so the question should be, why is your culture so tight as fuck when it comes to something that's natural to humanity? Maybe that should be the question. Okay. But I don't see it. I don't see it. I know it's in here. But it wasn't something we went over all the time. And I swear it was Japan. Confucianism, isn't that? Well, I'm all the way back in Buddhism. Confucianism, isn't that? Oh, I'm not far enough. Maybe the same people. I see somebody stammering now. This ain't Japan. No, bitch. It ain't. Doesn't mean that you can't learn from others. But at the same time, you be the same bitch who crawled on their fours to go out of state, to move out of state with motherfuckers who told you they was going to give you some money if you bullied me and whatnot, and you going to marry the nigga to try to hurt my feelings and screw him, his brother, the friend, and anybody else, the bleeding girl, anybody else you can get on top of your dumb ass. Okay? I don't see it. But I know it's in here. It had been found at one point that those cultures that were so tight-assed about sex and sexuality had more perversions in it than the law should allow. Just the most perverse, disgusting shit when it came to sex, because it was being suppressed, as opposed to those who operated in it and more. I'll say, I don't mean like action-wise. I mean they were just more open and talking about it and discussing it. I mean, I remember this. I just can't find it in this book. Even game shows. I mean, it came on like prime time hour, all based around sexuality, sex and whatnot. It was a little deep. Like I said, some of it was a little too deep for me. But I came from the culture of, close your leg and all that kind of shit. You had on the skirt and put I don't know, that napkin thing they put over you. Just a bunch of bullshit. But at the same time, after church, they all in the basement. Or in the pastor's chambers. One time my brother, he went to his school, my sibling. Was it his first year of college? or his first year of graduate school. I can't remember. I think it was graduate school. But anyway, maybe college, because I can't remember. But somewhere he was in school. And Erie, oh, I mean, I think it was Pennsylvania, so which would have been college, but I can't remember. But anyway, so we go to visit, and we go to church. It was a church he was going to. And I don't know, I used to laugh like, why does he even go? He doesn't believe in any of this stuff. But anyway, the pastor had a very distinct look. So after church, my sibling was telling me some of the scandals. He was telling some of the scandals with the pastor. And he said like that, did you see that lady with that little boy? That little light skin boy. I said, yeah. He said, they think that that's the pastor's son. I said, well, I thought it was. I said, I thought that was his wife and that was his son because the boy looked like the man said, spit him right out. And how many more children did he have flying up around in there? Or children that these people be touching on and all this kind of stuff. Like I said, it had been found that the churches, I mean, the cultures who were suppressed the most when it comes to sexuality. I'm talking about in teaching, not in action. Where a bitch like that could send you some shit and she thought I was supposed to be shamed. And, oh, me, oh's my. Oh, bitch, get the fuck out of here. That's what you do. And if I do it, so the fuck what, bitch? I don't have any shame about whom, what I am. You understand what I'm saying? That's when you get shit like that from cultures like that. The people are, the sexuality is so suppressed. Okay. And people, these adults, hurting children, touching them, and then and families protect. The fuck is wrong with protecting these people? Like I said, I have asked, what the fuck did I come here for? So much pretend and pretense in this world. You touch, you're, and I'm gonna say this. When I was coming up, we had the talk show that we had was Donahue. Y'all remember Donahue? Donahue was from Cleveland, and he had that talk show. It wasn't, I don't think anybody else had a talk show like that for years. And then here come Oprah. Oprah had hers. And then Jerry Springer, and then it just turned into debauchery and went downhill. It was all kind of bullshit. But anyway, it was not so much on Donahue. He had some really, really good stuff on his political shit, especially when it came to, black empowerment, and he had the KKK on there. He had Farrakhan. I mean, just really, really good content. And Oprah's was kind of like that. But then Oprah's became at that time, it degraded a little bit. Okay, but this is when they started talking openly. This was like in the 80s about children. They would have adults on there who had been molested, okay, by parents or friends of parents, stuff like that. I had never heard of anything like that before. So I'm watching this like, huh? And what is that? Why would somebody do that? And I thought it was so sick and disgusting. I was a kid, okay? I'm talking about the 80s. I was born in 72. So I had never heard of it. I had never experienced it, okay? There was one of them, that woman who raised my nephew. I used to have to run from that motherfucker. I said, that motherfucker get a hold of me, he gonna do something. I could just tell. I could feel it. So who knows? He probably put his hands on a whole lot of folk. Then they protected his dumb ass. What's wrong? I don't get that. Okay? But anyway, so they used to say that the person was molesting the child. Yeah. Or violating the child. Yes. Then it became this thing of having sex with. Pay attention to fucking language. Don't no adult have sex with a 3-year-old. Anybody underage, but children. At first they were saying they were molesting them. then they would say they're raping them. Then I noticed over time, after they talked about it, having sex with, I'm like, And I even will hear, see, that's what I'm saying. Pay attention. Don't just say shit. Don't let them put words in your mouth. Think. You might be a fucking program, but you still have the capacity to think. They might be able to download programs inside, but you still have the. Well, some of them don't. Some of them don't. Some people they don't. They're just a full NPC program. That's just the end of that. That's why I'm listening to this woman, and all she said was sex appeal, and she said, "Well, I can't say it because YouTube will take it down." So it's S appeal. I'm like, what the fuck? The word sex. It says in the community, I don't know, I have to go back and look. It says in the community guidelines you can't say the word sex. Is that what it says? Sex? When did that become a word of perversion? A bad word. Grape. No, that's a fruit. That's a fruit. Which I believe somebody pointed out to me. I have to ask her. She noticed the correlation between the word rape and grape. I can't remember, but I'm going to ask her about that again. See, they have you saying shit and you don't even know why you're saying it. You think you're doing it to protect, to nobody be triggered. To protect the community so they don't take my shit down. No, that's not it. You just do whatever they tell you to do. You do whatever they say. You just do whatever master say. You just do it. Okay, I did. I followed lines. I like the lady's content, but when I heard her do that, I was like, I can't listen no more. That's just so. You're an adult, ma'am. Did it say that in the community guidelines that is a word that you cannot say? And if it did, you need to question that. You're just going to accept that? Unalive? No, it's not unalive. It's killed. That's what the fuck they did. They just killed someone. In an unalive shit. What they say? It's all types of new words out here. I'm like, I'm not learning a whole new vocabulary for you motherfuckers. I'm going to say what the fuck it is. How is that going to not trigger someone? Just because you said the word differently, but it means the same thing. How? You just accept anything and let them tell you any fucking thing. I told you they gave me permission to tell you all this shit because they know you're not going to pay it any attention. That's why. They're fully aware. She can say whatever the fuck she wants to say to the cows come home. They're not going to listen. Because you're not. I ain't the first person to say this shit. An adult does not have sex with an underage child. That when you say certain words, it either lessens the impact or it makes the impact greater. To say that a 20-something-year-old raped, it may be like a 14 or 15-year-old, it brings it home. Damn. To say a 20-year-old molested, a 3 or 4-year-old, whoa. But to say a 20-year-old had sex with a 4-year-old, it lessens the impact of what the person did. Here, mentally. It's impossible. They're saying to you, they're prepping you now. With that type of shit, they're prepping people and they're prepping their mind to get ready to accept possibly the age of consent to be much lower or non-existent. To fuck you up all the more so that they can round you up in some fucking camps. And get rid of half your fucking ass. Just like Thanos did. Shit, what the fuck? Your world is messed up. Why you want to live here for what, bitch? And I'll take this little girl with me. She got some fight in her. She can help me with this shit. Wake up. Just do whatever. You do whatever they tell you to do, you do it. Whatever they tell you to think, you think it. Even though they got books, they got information everywhere to combat the bullshit. Bitch, you better not never send me no fucking email like that again, bitch. with your dumb ass. I'll come back and do the reading on that. What was that? That vision I had last night, which was probably some voodoo shit. That's what it looked like. All right. All right. You all have favor. Peace.